Hi everyone, it's Barry from Jerusalem here. It's been quieter this week, though we had a few missiles, but we go on living and we go on choosing life because that's the way of the Jewish people. We love to choose life in the face of adversity. What's very interesting in this week's Parsha, Noah built the ark. So we have in the very first paragraph, we have Vahishtachet ha'aretz lifnei ha'Elohim v'timalei ha'aretz chamas, and the earth was corrupt before God, and the earth was filled with violence. Hamas is violence, and it's mentioned two times. It's right in the second book. Now, last week we had the creation story. In the creation story that we celebrated on the 8th, on the 7th, 2 weeks ago, we had the Shmini Atzeret, the final judgment, so to speak. We were bombarded with missiles on that holy day. Zaman Simchatenu, the date of our happiness. So we have to see what are we looking at here. I'm going to make this a short video because it's almost Sabbath, but I wanted to give it to you. There is the verb lazamer, which means to uproot the evil from its roots in a plant, whatever it is that's poisonous, something, we have to uproot the evil. Lazamer, and that's a very PL. It's called, there are 7 verbs in which we can identify that gives it passive, active form, and Nephile PL. Well, this is PL. Lizamer is to root out. And it's interesting because our sages say on Shabbos we have to always be happy, whatever the time is. Just like on the 7th day of Sukkot we were attacked, we still have an obligation to be happy. You know, we have to defend our borders, and in the case of our defense, we have to nullify the Shabbos when the Shabbos becomes a real threat to life. But now life is, we're on the offensive rather than the defensive, and Hamas, the violent ones, the ones that in this Parsha Noah, Hashem created the world because of Hamas. Hashem wanted to bring to the world people more like Noah. He says, Ish Tamim B'Dorav. He was Ish Tam. He was a wholesome individual. He was commanded to build this ark, and for 120 years, he just focused on the ark, on his family, and he built it, and God found favor with him. But God didn't find favor with Hamas, because Hamas affected not only the people that they surrounded, but it affected the animals. So God said, listen, you can't blame the animals. They have no mouth that speaks. But we Jewish people have mouth to speak. And we have to speak up when there is injustice. So he created 2 of each gender, and the 7 types of genders. 7 is holy, of course. The sanctity of Shabbos is holy. So we have to sing this Shabbos. Zmirot. Lizamer is to root out. But our weapons has always been our voice of speech, our voice against injustice to mankind. God made us with a mouth to give praise to him. So on Shabbos we're commanded, we sing zmirot, we sing songs of praise to God. So this Shabbos we should all sing praise to God. Know that our enemies will be uprooted very shortly. Hopefully it doesn't bring on another flood, because the forces of good have to overcome the forces of evil. And this is what it takes. It takes unity. It doesn't take division. These things happen because of division. It's time that the Jewish people come united. And it's amazing because they're so united. And the false media, the false narrative out there, it's amazing when they interview the soldiers just say, hey, we have to fight. This is our home. This is our life. Why do you ask such a question? Like we're the oppressors. We're the victims here. The people have to define what is morality. That's what the Jews are about, morality. Boker Tov, wake up world. We are the ones that carry this light. And for thousands of years you try to distinguish it. Hamas. You distinguish this light. But we bring the light of Torah to the world, the light of the God of Chesed. Avraham, which is next week's parsha. And I'll be happy to explain a little bit about Avram, because he brings real kindness, the truth of real kindness. There's false kindness, there's sheker, which is lies, and there's truth, that's emet. And if you look at the Hebrew letters, sheker doesn't have a leg to stand on because the shin is curved, but emes has several legs. So we have to find emes, we have to find truth, and we have to eradicate sheker. It also says in the Torah, in every generation is an Amalek. And Amalek comes from this place called, he attacked us from the rear when we were leaving, we were trying to cross over the Jordan. Amalek is that counterpart that tries to destroy evil, that tries to destroy any good, but it's evil. And we have to see the difference between the victim, the evil, and the accuser, and the one saying just the opposite. When this happens, we get a flood. God destroyed the world. But he created these individuals like Noah and Avraham, that you'll see in next week's Parsha, that he is the one to reunite and advocate for everybody to save the world. Noah couldn't advocate for himself. That's why they say he was tzaddik in his generation, because in Avram's generation, he was a different type of tzaddik. He was a tzaddik that cared more about others than just trying to save themselves. So we are the Jewish people. We are that light that God wanted when we left Sinai to bring to the nation. So it's about time the nation starts seeing the emes, the truth of what Israel stands for, and the false behavior and ridiculous nonsense. The freedom fighters, freedom to destroy. We have freedom to build. You know what the word for Hebrew is? To build. Libanot. To build. Boneh is to build. Banim are our children. It's all connected. To Bina, which is wisdom, which is the creative intuition that a woman has, and she doesn't have to normally. She's not required to do the time-bound mitzvahs like the men are. The men are Chachma, and Bina are the woman. And Hamas is ridiculous. It's terrible. Because they don't believe in anything but destruction. So have a good Shabbos. Remember, after the Shabbos meal and you give praise to Hashem, remember to take out your little bencher and give Zmirot. Yariban olam beyomaya veyomaya antohu melech mahachaya melech mahachaya. He's our king. He's the creator. He's the risen etra. He's the reason for our being. But we have to show, we have to know what is the side of truth and what is the side of falseness. And the media can learn maybe from a little Torah to get the facts straight. Have a good Shabbos, everyone.